What's up, lads? Welcome back to Crypto Empire. So we have had quite a past 48 hours in the crypto market, as I'm sure you're all aware. We had the biggest crypto crash in history. And what's going to happen next? We'll be talking about everything in this live stream. I figured it would be easier to go live rather than make a regular video, just to talk it through as well as interact with you guys live. So let's get right into it and start off like we always do with our crypto market overview. All right, lads. So first of all, hopefully you guys weren't leveraged to the tits during that liquidation event, because if you were leveraged, good chances are, if you were long at least, hopefully your stop losses got triggered. But a lot of people that had stop losses, there was no liquidity where their orders were. And basically they got filled at market prices, which were significantly lower than their stops. So it was just a very brutal day in general. So if you got wiped out, understand that a bad day does not equal a bad life. Close the laptop for a bit. Obviously watch the stream still, but don't be glued to your screen because, this is probably going to take a while to blow over. But anyways, Bitcoin is still $111,000. The real damage was done on altcoins. ETH is currently trading for $3,800. In general, it was a very brutal day. And looking at the crypto bubble's top 100, well, there's some green today. But if we look on the week, the week was pretty brutal, to say the least. If I did a stream yesterday, everything here was deep in the red. And now the crash personally happened for me at 4 a.m. my time. So I was asleep when it all happened. And I woke up like 3 hours after everything happened. Everything had already rebounded significantly. But in general, it happened. I woke up to just the blood in the streets, or the aftermath of it. So it was pretty crazy to wake up to that. I was just like, what the heck just happened here? Yesterday, this number of the 24-hour wreck, it was $19 billion. However, at the current moment in time, in the past 24 hours, there's $571 million of liquidations, mostly on the long side. So a lot of people likely were longing. This is Dogecoin, but a lot of people likely were longing yesterday, thinking that we were going to V recover up. But that was a pretty naive idea because here we are. We're just floating around, and it's going to take a while, like I said, to recover here. Now, Bitcoin did hit $101,000 on most exchanges. On Coinbase Spot, it hit 107. On the leverage perpetual contracts, on the futures contracts, it mainly hit 101. Both of these were levels, right? This is a daily supply zone down here at 101. And that 107 level as well. It's another daily, demand zone, not supply zone. What am I saying? But anyways, yeah. Bitcoin went to demand, whether that was spot or perpetuals, but the real damage was done on altcoins. Smash that like button, by the way, lads. Smash it up. Shout out to everyone here. Now listen, I want to go through a bunch of tweets today to kind of summarize everything that happened. Like I said, I think it'd be better to do this live than a regular video, but I'm just going to go through kind of everything that happened in case anyone is unfamiliar, and I'm going to give my take on it as well. So first of all, Binance is getting a lot of heat right now. So Binance ended up freezing. People couldn't place limit orders. People couldn't even access their money on Binance when this whole event went down. And the new CEO here, this guy Richard Tang, he said the company will learn from what happened and they're committed to doing better. He says, I'm truly sorry to everyone who was impacted. Now, the ironic thing is, a lot of coins that weren't listed on Binance didn't crash as hard. The coins that were listed on Binance got absolutely destroyed. So there's obviously some kind of, it's clear as day to me. If you're new to the crypto market, I'll tell it to you straight up. It's all algorithms and it's all run by basically market makers. And when a coin is listed on Binance, it is largely controlled and it can be manipulated to a very large degree. So anyways, this guy Joe Matoshi, he said, basically they're clowns. And if you have an account at Binance, move on, right? He says this is the important part. It's the moments of stress that measure the quality of the product or a company that tells you everything you need to know. So yeah, I mean, when your account cannot be accessed, if you have thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in a Binance account, and at the precise moment of the best opportunity, you can't do anything, obviously there's some kind of foul play at hand. So anyways, we'll get further into that. Here we go again. So this tweet was put out at the time of the crash, right? Like I said, it was like 4 a.m. for me. So this tweet was put out at 4:54 a.m. the other day. And they said, due to heavy market activity, our systems are under high load. Some users may experience intermittent delays or display issues. Delays or display issues. Basically, you can't do anything. They said funds are safe. Thanks for your patience. They're monitoring the situation. But yeah, so this guy, Crypto Cowboy, he basically said that Binance has proven once again they are the biggest scammers in crypto. During the crash, they froze user accounts across the board, prevented traders from accessing their funds at critical moments. Limit orders and stop loss functions were conveniently disabled, and this was a move that ensured Binance maximized profits while, during the biggest liquidation event in crypto history. So they literally blocked their users from managing their positions or long in the bottom. Literally, that's exactly what happened. So, anyways, we can point fingers all we want. It happened and stuff like that. Now, in regards to the crash, so this was literally bigger than the COVID crash. It was bigger than the Terra Luna collapse. It was the biggest crash in crypto history by a pretty large degree. Now, in previous times when we've had crashes of this magnitude, this is a good tweet by Skew. He says that there's 1 to 3 months of consolidation after a price nuke like we had just yesterday, or around 36 hours ago now. So we had one of these in August of 2023 when Bitcoin crashed from around $30,000 down to like 25, 24. It took a while, right? It took at least a month to recover and start to go back up. But we had a sideways period. We also had the FTX crash, right, which was the bear market crash November 2022. Bitcoin dropped 27%. And this one lasted quite a long time, right? This one was like a 3-month consolidation period plus after that FTX crash. We also had the December of 2021 crash, which that was in the bear market. But the long story short, it's going to take a while to recover from this, in my opinion. Many people were completely wiped out, like zeroed out. Not like exchanges and market makers and funds, they were wiped out, but like normal everyday average Joes were completely wiped out from this market. So they're like, that's a buyer, that's a crypto buyer that's probably not going to come back, right? Unless they're just heavily like addicted to crypto. But if you got zeroed out, you're probably not going to immediately come back into this market. It's going to take a while to blow over here. So while some people are expecting a V-shaped recovery out of this, I highly doubt we will see some type of V-shaped recovery and go on to like the biggest altcoin season of all time after this. At this point in time, it largely does look like my thesis of Chinese New Year 2026, which is like late January, early February. That's, in my opinion, probably when we're going to see some significant upside in the market, it's October. So we have all of October, November, December, and then basically all of January. So is that 3-4 months? I'm really not expecting too much to happen in terms of altcoins, at least. So anyways, yeah. It's going to take a little bit of time, in my opinion. If you're expecting a V-shaped recovery, I'm not sure that will happen. But hey, I'm just what do I know, right? I could be wrong for sure, but I think at this point in time, the thesis I've laid out of the market doing well in early 2026 that's largely probably what's going to happen now after a crash like this. Moving on. So a lot of these perp DEXs, by the way, I have so many tweets open. Let's see. Oh yeah, so the perp DEX meta. So of course Binance and CZ, they launched Aster. there was Avantis, and then every other perp DEX. It was the hottest trend. It was the current meta. So this is a funny one. The lizard people, they're like, let's set up a perp DEX meta to get all the meme coin millionaires into leverage trading before rugging all the liquidity and sending everything down 50%. Ha 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 ha. The evil, diabolical lizard laugh. Ha ha ha. They got us. They really did get us pretty brutally. But anyways, a lot of people trading on these decentralized perp DEXs, they got completely wrecked. And it's pretty funny. There's one of these exchanges called Backpack, right? A lot of people were farming the Backpack airdrop. So what happened, if you got liquidated on Backpack and you added more money to your account, and it never showed up on the exchange. Why? Because you were still in debt and you had to pay back your debt after losing your entire balance on the account. So this is what happened to Backpack users. So this guy from the Backpack team said, if you get liquidated, you have to pay your losses to winners. If you didn't have enough dollars to pay your losses to winners, then you owe the winners money. If you deposited and the funds didn't land, it's because you paid the winners the money you owed them. Imagine that. Imagine losing everything you have in your account balance because you're trading and you're on Backpack. But I mean, I never used Backpack once. But then you deposit more money in, and literally you expect it to be able to buy some coins at the cheap at the bottom. But that money went to go pay back debt. It's a joke, lads. I mean, that's how the system works. Those are the little fine print terms and conditions that most people, 99.999% of people, don't read. But yeah, imagine that. Imagine trading on Backpack and getting double shafted. You get liquidated, you deposit more money, it never showed up because you had to pay more debt. Absolutely diabolical. That is absolutely diabolical, lads. So yeah, that happened. Let's go keep moving on. You guys want me to do the evil villain laugh again? That's what they were doing. What a joke. Anyways, another evil villain laugh. Tom Lee, Bitmine. This guy's on the news, on all the mainstream media news, telling people ETH is going to be like 20 grand by the end of the year or something. They actually just lost $1.9 billion in Ethereum. I mean, they for sure had their shorts open, though. That's their public losses. We don't see what's happening behind the scenes, because we all know it's a big club, and we ain't in it. Cue the diabolical villain laugh again. But anyways, Tom Lee, Bitmine, their average price was $4,500. So this guy, Keyboard Monkey, he says the treasury scam is the most legendary grift. And he says, get popcorn ready for the coming months. Those who have capital will be rewarded. So what he's basically saying is there's probably going to be some more damage here in the coming months, right? Maybe some other funds have completely blown up. Maybe there's going to be some more news come out. Because if you guys were here in the 2022 bear market, right, we had FTX go down, and then we had Celsius go down, and we had Three Arrows Capital go down. And it was just like this series of dominoes falling and falling and falling, making the market bleed out more and more and more and more. So maybe we have something like that happen again. That's kind of what Keyboard Monkey is saying when he says, get your popcorn ready for the coming months. Those who have capital will be rewarded. Basically saying that we could for sure go lower. Now let's talk about the ETH price real quick. Let's go look at Ethereum. So it tagged the yearly open at 3,300 at the time of that liquidation cascade. This is the Bybit chart. I want to check the spot chart. Binance spot hit 3,400. Let's check Coinbase spot. Yeah, so it basically hit 3,500. The low is $3,510 on the Coinbase spot chart. So all the leverage contracts got destroyed way worse than the spot charts. But anyways, where can ETH go? Right? If it's going to get worse here, right? If it's going to get worse here, where could ETH actually go? Let's look at this chart and be objective. To me, like the real fair value here on ETH. Look how much time price spent here at like 2,500 bucks. This was back in May. It spent a significant amount of time at 2,500. But I mean, it moved through 3 to 4K very quickly, and then up here at almost 5K. It moved very quickly. We can see that there's the fair value where price spent the most amount of time here on the chart is like $2,500 on Ethereum. So it is possible we do see that in the coming months. That's 30% lower than the current price. And again, that's just objectively where fair value is on the chart. So maybe that happens, and maybe Keyboard Monkey is right. And if you do have capital and you're right, if you don't have any capital right now, like the best thing to do is just wait. If you do, maybe you want to deploy some now, because always when we look back at these times, back to this tweet over here, right? When we look back at these times after these brutal crashes, it always sucks in the moment, but then we look back a year later, 2 years later, and that's like always the best time to buy something, right? Right after the brutal, horrible crash. So yeah, we could go lower from here, but when we look back at this time, maybe in like 6 months, a year, I mean, it's probably going to be like a big buying opportunity like right now. I mean, that goes without saying. Could we go lower? For sure we could. Again, fair value on ETH is like $2,500, $2,600. By the way, guys, almost 100 people watching and not even like 20 likes on the stream. Hit the like button, lads. Let's go. Hit the like button right now. Thank you for your support. But anyways, yeah. More diabolical villain laughs. Eric Trump, our boy Eric. Let's listen to what he had to say. 2 weeks ago. He said Q4 will be unbelievable for crypto. Let's just listen to our boy Eric real quick.
Crypto solves all of these problems, and I've fallen in love with it. I think it's incredible. It's growing faster than the internet grew. And we're on the 1 yard line of cryptocurrency, and the future is incredible. The future is bright. The future is incredible. And I think Q4 of this year is going to be unbelievable for a host of reasons. So
Q4 of this year is going to be unbelievable for a host of reasons. Shout out to our boy Eric. Guys, is Eric a lizard? Is he a reptilian? Let me know in the comment section what you think. Something's always been off about Eric. I mean, again, I like Trump. I think he's funny. Don Trump Jr., funny guy. But Eric, something has always seemed off about him, man. But yeah, it was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. Now, also, a hyperliquid trader opened up short trades on Bitcoin and ETH 30 minutes before Trump announced the big, tariff deal with China, 100% tariffs, which was the reason the market crashed, right? So a lot of people saying this hyperliquid trader that opened up those new accounts on that day was Barron Trump. Could it have been? I mean, for sure, but we don't know it. Nobody can know for sure. So Coin Bureau tweeted out, this was put out just not too long ago, 8 hours ago or so. They said, latest, Barron Trump has reportedly made $80 million from his Bitcoin and crypto investments. Good old 21-year-old Barron Trump has made $80 million. Cue the diabolical villain laugh. They're just laughing in our face. But you still have like the Trumpers like going crazy and whatever. I'm not going to get political here. But I mean, it's funny. It's funny to me. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on. This guy, Farrakh, explaining the situation right now. He says, we lost retail earlier this year in the meme coin mania implosion after the Libra scandal, alongside a bunch of giga rug pulls, right? That happened. Back in February of this year, we had a pretty diabolical crash like we just had right now. A lot of people were completely zeroed out then. Now, we lost a ton of crypto natives peddling the perp meta to people trying to make them think it's the only thing worth farming. A bunch of people zeroed out. He says, we're going to be back, but it would be nice if we stopped sending every single person in here to the slaughterhouse. And then he says, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone in particular, just getting to sit back and think about the carnage of the past 24 hours. Yeah, a lot of carnage, but Yeah, I mean, if you're just chasing the current shiny thing, right? Back at the start of this year, it was meme coins, AI agents, all of them completely zeroed out. If you were just chasing the perp dexes over the past 4 weeks or whatever, and you were just trading on perp dexes, I mean, if you were long yesterday, you're probably, I mean, it depends how, it all comes down to risk mitigation and risk management. That's the whole game. That's the whole financial market game, risk management. We can point fingers all we want, right? I can sit here and blame Trump, blame Binance, blame whoever, right? We can blame Richard Tang. At the end of the day, like, you do have to take responsibility. Personally, I mean, I lost only on spot. I wasn't long anything, fortunately. Obviously, my spot portfolio took a hit, but yeah, I mean, we can point fingers and blame all we want. At the end of the day, it all comes down to personal risk management. We just got a super chat from Ricky Romero. Ricky said, I bought Bitcoin, 20K average, and I'm still up. I rotated some of those gains into AVAX with this previous dip. Am I getting greedy or degen or smart move? You're definitely getting degen, right? Like, for sure, at this moment in time, to sell Bitcoin for anything is just like, let's look at this on the weekly. I mean, to sell Bitcoin for anything, something like AVAX. Remember, AVAX was like created out of thin air. They have a large, it's a corporate entity at this time. Avalanche is a corporate entity. So you just sold Bitcoin for AVAX. Is that a smart move or is it degen? It's very degen, man. Could it work out well for you? Yes, it could. But if you look at AVAX versus Bitcoin, it's been in a downtrend of lower highs and lower highs and lower lows since 2021. So I doubt AVAX will ever run up like to these highs again versus Bitcoin. Like, I doubt it will do a 10x versus Bitcoin. But maybe it might do, I mean, maybe it might come to the yearly open. Right, so maybe you'll get like a 100% gain versus Bitcoin, but you have to sell if that opportunity comes. So yeah, it's definitely on the more degen side, Ricky. It's definitely on the degen side. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin dominance, this is interesting because Bitcoin dominance pumped up here and it retested this breakdown. All right, it retested the breakdown over here at like 63.2%. It hit this 4-day order block. The 4-day partial hit an order block here. So basically, Bitcoin dominance took a lot of supply here. I wouldn't be surprised to see this continue to trend down lower and come down to my macro target at 46%. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. So maybe you're all right selling Bitcoin for AVAX, but you have to understand there's a very good chance that you'll never be able to recoup your Bitcoin again that you sold if it does go down versus AVAX. It's a risk. And again, like I was just saying, this entire market comes down to risk management and risk mitigation. So, I mean, it's totally up to you how you want to play it. But if we do see Bitcoin dominance drop down here to like sub 50% again, maybe you'll see a 100% gain and AVAX will outperform Bitcoin by like 100%. I think it's possible that happens for sure. Again, I'm looking for Bitcoin dominance after it just took this level up here, 63%. I'm looking forward to continue to break down. I still think this was the top on Bitcoin dominance for the cycle at 66%. So yeah, we're looking for this to go sub 50. So maybe, just maybe, Ricky, you'll be okay. And you'll be able to make a profit and make more Bitcoin with that trade. Let's keep on moving on. So we have a tweet from Battle Rhino. Battle Rhino, good trader. Followed him for a long time. But he says, I assume we will spend plenty of daily candles filling those wicks in with alts being basically haywire, bearing a one-time mechanical bounce. He says, don't rush to revenge trade. The only outcome to insta-long is likely like a resolution between the U.S. and China. Because again, this whole crash was between rare earth minerals and China and the U.S. and Trump going at President Xi Jinping or whatever the guy's name is. All right, so he says if you lost today, you made it to that number one, so you can do it again. Like I've said here on the channel, it's only over if you're like actually dead. If you got air in your lungs, it's not over. He says the war only ends if you quit, and that's true. He says if you're expecting a V bounce, you're prob smoking dick, right? Probably. Patience. He's hoping it does not resolve quickly and equities nuke much further so he can buy some equities at lower prices. But yeah, people expecting a V-shaped recovery. Like Battle Rhino said, you're prob smoking dick, man. It's going to take a little bit of time probably for this to recover. Smash that like button, guys. All right, let's keep moving on. We got more tweets to go through. So yeah, this was apparently, a lot of people are pointing fingers and saying that this trader. So here's a tweet. Someone just opened a Bitcoin short 30 minutes before Trump's tariff announcement and closed with an $88 million profit. He opened this account today. And another guy opened up from another account and made like $100 million. And a lot of people are saying that it's Barron Trump. Could it be? Who knows? Who knows? It was obviously somebody with insider information. But the thing is, like, everyone gets all riled up, and every single time there's a major market crash from like a news announcement, insiders trade it. Every single time. So at this point, it's just run of the mill. It's just ordinary stuff. So like, we got to focus on what we can control. We cannot get extreme. Obviously, it's corrupt. Obviously, it's unjust. But let's look around in the world nowadays. Is anything just anymore? Morality is completely out the window. So every time there's a huge market crash or a pump, insiders are always positioned right before it. So we can't control that. So there's no point in getting upset over it. Understand that it happens. That's how it is. But let's only focus on what we can control, basically. But obviously, it's pretty messed up. And obviously, we all want access to the insider information. Because listen, I would also like to make $190 million in like an hour or two. I think everybody here would. But at the same time, I wasn't born into a royal bloodline, unfortunately. Be great if I was. I'm just a kid from Jersey, unfortunately, though. So that's just how it is. Moving on now. Bonk guy lost all of his perpetual positions. So, Bonk guy started off with a Bible quote. He said, "The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." So he says, "Yesterday's liquidation event is the most brutal I've witnessed in my time in crypto. He got wiped out of all of his perpetual positions. Literally everything. He had $30 million plus. Well above $15 million just before the liquidation event started. 100% were completely wiped out." So Bonk guy was famous. Bonk guy got his fame by longing Bonk at the 2023 lows. And Bonk guy caught the Bonk pump on leverage. What is this? Let's go to our spot chart. What is this? Here we go. Bonk guy basically caught this pump from like October 2023. Like this was, what is that? A 270x to the high. Bonk did a 320x. I mean, this is a full market cycle. But anyways, Bonk guy got his fame from longing this on leverage, and the guy just didn't close the trade because he was saying that it was going to keep going up. Which is nuts. That's absolutely nuts. But anyways, he just got wiped out from that position. Yeah, I mean, it started as a small trade and then it ended up being millions and millions of dollars of unrealized profit. I don't believe he realized any of the profit. He was just holding that trade on forever, just continuing to pay funding fees. And it all got wiped out. So let this be a lesson for everyone. Let this be a lesson for everyone. Stop trying to hit a home run with leverage trades. If you trade leverage, you have to just take the money as the market gives it. Myself, I've fallen victim so many times to keeping a trade open where I should have just closed it and taken the thousands of dollars of profit. But instead, I'm just a greedy bastard. And I'm like, this is going to be the one. This is the bull market trade. This is going to be a legendary long that's going to keep on pumping. And I round trip everything. This happened to me so many times this cycle. And it happened at a much larger scale here with Bonk Guy. $30 million unrealized profit completely gone, zeroed out. So anyways, let that be a lesson for everyone. We just got a super chat from the Albert. He says, hey, what's up, Connor? Do we think we bottomed out on treble swap or we could go lower? So I have it open here. I mean, look, if we're going to go brutally lower here and ETH goes to $2,500, maybe Treb goes lower. But the thing about treble swap is, notice how, like, most of the sell-off actually happened prior to this big market crash. And people panic sold. But treble swap is not listed on any centralized exchange, so it cannot be heavily manipulated. All of this selling took place from actual holders of the coin. A lot of the coins on Binance, like, holders didn't sell. So that's a distinction. Now, the vesting for treble swap ends at the end of 2025. So this has like less than three months of vesting. I believe that once the vesting ends and all the early JEETs are completely out, we're going to see significant upside at this point in time. Because the reason this thing keeps on, or hasn't been able to hold a pump, is because there's early buyers that just have paper hands, basically. So if we go lower here in the overall market and ETH goes to like 3K, 2,500, maybe treble swap continues to float around here. But I think personally that most of the people that have big positions in treble, most of them have sold if they're not going to continue to hold on, right? So will it go lower? I don't know for sure. I still believe that, like I said in the video over here in like August, September, when the price was like 13 cents, I said I think we're close to the bottom, or at least, yeah, I forget my exact quotes from the video, but I said I think we're close to the bottom down here. We end up pumping like, 5x out of that. Retraces. So I still believe that this level is close to the bottom. Remember, the launch price was 12 cents, and it basically came down to the launch price and then pumped up 5x. So, yeah, I think that it could go lower, but I'd say that this is close to the bottom over here on treble swap. Thank you for that super chat, though. So anyways, Bonk Guy got completely wiped out. He says, everyone blames the recent Trump-China tariffs, but this isn't the first time we've had that this year. Trump tariff comments certainly shouldn't have been responsible for such a massive nukage across the market. Almost the entirety of altcoins and meme coins in the space. He says a lot of altcoins crashed 70 to 99% in minutes, when Bitcoin and Ethereum barely crashed 13%. Cosmos Atom crashed from $4 to less than 1 cent on Binance. Right, Binance literally sent Atom to almost zero, as low as it could actually go. Shout out to Binance. Here's the perp chart. So the low is $1 here. Let's check the spot chart. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, this was such obvious market manipulation by Binance. The perp chart went to $1, but the spot chart, which is backwards to me, went to 0.001. So that's 1/10 of 1 penny. Let's go to the 5-minute chart, lads. It's comical. It's so comical. So this happened in a period of, let's see, 15 minutes. It went down 99.97%. It went from 375 to 0.001 in a period of less than 15 minutes. And then 5 minutes later, this thing did a 200% move. What is that? Cue the diabolical villain laugh. This is what the Binance insiders are doing. They're laughing in your face. They're diabolical villain laughing in your face. In my face, too. 200,000% in 5 minutes? What the heck is going on? What the heck is going on? Unbelievable stuff. DJ Leaky says, might get ETH for $50. Hey, at this point, anything is possible. Put your bids in ETH $50. We might just get it. We got a super chat now from Bob's my uncle. He says, is STB a scam? I mean, apparently a Tether co-founder is like a founder of this project as well. The thing is, VCs invested in the project, and VCs are going to drain it dry, which is what they've done. So, I mean, it's a heavily manipulated venture capitalist coin, Bob. That's what I'll say it is. Which, yeah, we could kind of call that a scam too. But anyways, back to the Bonk Guy tweet. Thank you for that super chat, Bob. So anyways, he says it's worth noting that this massive altcoin and meme coin crash was exclusively on centralized exchanges. These altcoins did not come close to hitting these levels on spot dexes. So yesterday's liquidation was almost certainly due to market makers and centralized exchanges liquidity issues. Right? It's just some normal issues, right? So many people reported being massively affected, especially since exchange systems broke across the board, stop losses failed, orders didn't fill, margin couldn't be added, and platforms became unusable within minutes. The entire liquidation cascade happened so fast that almost no one had time to react. Something I don't think we've ever seen at this scale before. So yeah, this was the worst Black Swan event. It was worse than the COVID crash. And yeah, we ain't gonna read all this, Bonk Guy, but we appreciate your tweet here. And you know the usual words of motivation, right? Persist, survive, don't give up. Take a break if you need to. If you're struggling to hold it in, you can seek help. I agree with all of that, right? Hopefully everyone's okay here. Focus on your health. Get out into nature, right? Sometimes you got to close the laptop and just go grounding, man. Walk barefoot. If you're close to a beach, go swim in the ocean. That always makes me feel good, for real. But anyways, yeah, brutal times, lads. Brutal times. So that's what happened. Let's keep moving on. Here's a tweet from Ted Pillows. We got a super chat. Shout out to Crypto Yankee. He says, hey, Connor, speaking of DGen, I'm holding 70% of my portfolio in Cubic. I know you like Cubic in the past. Any chance it does an all-time high this cycle? Look, at this point in time, it's going to take a while. Now, Cubic isn't down so bad, actually. I mean, obviously, it's like not far off of the lows. But in general, like, it didn't really get wrecked as bad as a lot of other coins. Now, because Cubic is an AI play, I think it will do well into the future. However, I don't know when crypto AI is going to pop off. Real quick, let's go look at the AI category. What is it still now? Like 500 million? Nah, it's more than that. A few billion? 26 billion market cap. Right, so crypto AI has a $26 billion market cap. I personally think crypto AI will go to like 500 billion to a trillion. So if I'm right, just to 500 billion, that's a 20x in the overall AI crypto market cap. So I think something like Cubic will do really well into the future. This cycle though, like, what does that mean this cycle? Is that this year? Is that next year? I don't know when crypto AI will do well, but I think, you know, if you have the patience to sit on something like Tau or Cubic or something like that, I think you should do well into the future when crypto AI starts to pick up again. So I hope that helps, Crypto Yankee, right? It's really hard to say what this cycle is because, again, the 4-year cycle theory is kind of out the window in a sense. I mean, it is ironic how what is it, 1,064 days from the bear market low, we crash every single cycle, and that just happened on October 6th. However, we're still in a kangaroo market. because altcoins got wrecked, but like let's look at the facts, guys. Bitcoin is completely fine. Bitcoin's at $111,000. So the 4-year Bitcoin cycle is kind of out the window. For altcoins, we're just in a kangaroo market. So who knows when we'll see crypto AI pop off. Let's see. We got another super chat right now from Mikhail Nilsson. He says, Manu on ETH chart. Thanks for that super chat, man. Manu on ETH. I mean, this chart kind of looks like... $37 mil market cap. Let's see. So it came right into demand over here on the crash. Point that out real quick. Right, you had this demand zone at, what is this, like a 22 million market cap. Came right into that demand zone and it's bouncing. So let's just do some basic TA. Big resistance at 45 million market cap. We know demand is at like 20 million. Now, if the market's going to be in consolidation for a while, it may want to revisit like the 20 million market cap levels. If it's going to pump, it needs to break out and close above 46 million market cap, and also clear the previous swing high, which is what, 56. So if you're bullish, you basically want to look for it to start to close above these key resistance levels, 45 mil, 56, 57 mil previous swing high. If you want to be a buyer, I would say look closer to 20 million market cap at the lows. Simple, real quick analysis. But yeah, I mean, this is what is this? Some kind of Dogecoin thing. Dogecoin's like brother or something. Yeah, I mean, if you're bullish on Manu, I would still look to buy it at sub 30 million market cap. It's at 37 now. Anyways, thank you for that super chat, brother. So let's keep on moving on. I have a few more tweets to go through. This one from Ted Pillows. So he says, for people who still don't know how bad the crash was, here's a quick summary. Cosmos Atom, we already looked at it. It went from $4 to 0.001. Sui went from $3.40 to 56 cents. Aptos went from $5 to 75 cents. Say went from 28 cents to 7 cents. Chainlink went from $22 to $8. And Cardano went from 80 cents to 30 cents. Top 100 blue chips nuked 80% in a few minutes of time. Caspa went to like a penny. Guys, like I said, it was 4 a.m. my time when this happened, unfortunately. Brutal. Sui went to 56 cents. That's insane. Caspa, on the Bybit perps chart, it went below 1 penny. All right, if you were at your screen and you were able to catch these longs, I mean, you instantly made what, a 4x on this, like crazy stuff. If you were at your screen when this happened and you could have caught it, if you had access to your exchange, right? Hopefully you weren't using Binance. You can sign up to BTCC. The promotion is still going on, guys, for the month of October. Actually, I'll mention that. If you sign up to BTCC using my link below, you will get a 10% deposit bonus that you can use to trade with. There is no catches, no gimmicks. All right, so that means if you deposit $1,000, you will get $100 to trade with. And if you make profit on that trade, you can withdraw it. If you deposit $10,000, you will get a $1,000 bonus that you can trade with, right? So you can literally just deposit, take the bonus, trade the bonus, and then take all your money off. I don't care. You might as well do that, right? If you're zeroed out right now or you have some money and you want to get a free trade, sign up to BTCC using my link below. But yeah, Caspa went to below a penny. Chainlink $7. What do I think about the link chart now? Well, I mean, it's obviously pretty cooked on the daily. Like, it didn't close underneath this, which is a positive sign. But you have a big level over here at like $15.50. So let's see if Link closes a daily candle below 15.50 over here. That is a major sign of weakness and wants to come to like 12 again. If it continues to hold this $15 level, I mean, maybe we'll see it start to rebound. But again, usually stuff like this takes a while to recuperate. Again, back to this tweet over here. If you look at all the previous sell-offs, like usually it takes 1 to 3 months for something like this to recuperate, where we'll have just sideways choppy price action. So if this takes 3 months, it'll take us right into Chinese New Year, which is like late January 2026, which is, again, when I think, I've said this before here on live streams on the channel, when I think we'll start to rebound. Guys, smash the like button. Let's go smash it up. So yeah, that was a brutal crash. Here's everything in number terms. All right, all the crashes in number terms. If anybody wants to screenshot this so they can look at it on their own time, but we will keep on moving on from this live stream. So yeah, Caspa dumped the hardest and rebounded the best too. Polkadot went to 63 cents. What the heck? All right, here, let's go ahead and move on now. Here's a tweet from Retest Trades. He says, I think many people are underestimating the fact that almost half of the trading population of crypto got completely wiped out to zero, and probably half of them will never come back to this industry. The same thing happened in May of 2021. Before leaving, they had this one question. Should I sell my 60% nuked bag now or hold for a bounce? He had the same question. The answer, just think as the current portfolio is your all-time high. Forget your peak and start fresh. And then he says, the irony is those who will not give up and survive this zero-sum game have less participants to battle with. You are not really understanding the situation right now. This is bullish for the market. I agree. I mean, I do agree, right? Like, we just had a great reset. We had a great reset in the crypto market. Again, I don't think it's going to V-shape recovery unless Trump like takes off the tariffs with China. But I doubt that's going to happen. It might, though. I don't have insider information on that. I wish I did. But in general, like, these big wipeouts level the playing field. They level the playing field out. So the playing field was just leveled out again. A lot of people that made a lot of money this cycle, whether it's from meme coins, whether they got like a hyper liquid airdrop and made their millions from that, a lot of people just gave that all back. So everything is fresh again, basically. And crypto is, I mean, yeah, obviously it's a very rigged game, but it's not going anywhere. The casino is going to stay open. There's going to be more wealth creation events like Hyperliquid Airdrop, right? There's going to be a base airdrop. The Monet airdrop is going to be soon. Going to be a lot more airdrops, right? A lot of money will come back into the system. It's just going to take some time for that to happen. Here's some humor for everyone, right? So watching my girlfriend get a side of guacamole at Chipotle after my $600,000 perps position just evaporated. Yeah, it do be like that sometimes, lads. It do be like that. Such is life. $3 for extra guac at Chipotle. We take it for granted in the good times. But when the bad times come, we remember that money is money, and $3, yeah, that can be a lot. All right, so be grateful for what you got, lads. right? If you got a roof over your head and you got a warm meal, food in your belly, it's not that bad. But with that being said, guys, we just went through all of my tweets for the day that I did want to go through. All right, so listen, it's Saturday night. I'm going to be live again for the Sunday live stream, and we're going to spend some more time going through the charts on the Sunday stream. Today, I just kind of wanted to recap everything and say what's up to all you guys. Check in. Hope everyone's doing good. Hopefully, nobody is down absolutely horrendous. If you are down absolutely horrendous, just remember, just because you got wrecked one day does not mean it's over, right? Life is long. And, yeah, don't give up, basically. Brett, DJ Leaky asked for Brett. Let's go look at some coins. Now, Brett's at a 300 million market cap. Look, man, I don't think Brett will ever go to a new all-time high. Ever. All right, the all-time high is 2.3 billion. I don't think Brett will ever reach a $2.3 billion market cap ever again. Right, clip this, send it to Crash. I don't really care. To everyone still believe in Crash is just bullshit that he says. Like, come on, lads. Yeah, like, if you're going to buy Brett and hold it, like, maybe you'll see it come back up to, like, 800 million. Maybe it'll hit, like, 1 billion or something. But if you think it's going to go to, what does Crash say, 30 billion market cap or something like that, like, that's just never going to happen, man. Like, take the red pill, right? You got the blue pill and the red pill. If you want to take the blue pill, you can believe that bullshit that he says that it's going to go to 30 billion, 50 billion market cap. The red pill in this case is the truth. I'm not talking about the bullshit red pill when it comes to, like, dating nowadays and all that BS. But the red pill in this case is the truth that, you know, Brett is never going to make a new all-time high. And here at 300 million, I mean, look, who's going to buy this coin? Who's going to be able to push this thing up? I mean, I don't really know. If I was going to buy a coin on base, the only coin to buy on base that is, like, if we're talking meme coins, and comparing the top ones, because the top ones are Brett and Toshi. There's no debate about that. Right now, Toshi has a higher market cap than Brett. So Brett's irrelevant to me. Toshi is the solidified winner on base. Like, that's just a fact. Yeah. Anyway, that's my stance on Brett. Joe Gut says Toshi's the new king on base. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even see that comment before I just said what I said, but I agree with you, dude. Cubic we already looked at. All right, Cubic didn't really get wiped out too badly. Again, the AI sector of crypto is 26 billion. I personally think it's going to go to 500 billion to $1 trillion. So something like Cubic will have its day in the sun, just like Tau will, Near, whatever, Render too. Render got wiped. But yeah, I mean, for now, you basically just have to, like, I have my AI coins that I have Cubic, I have Tau. And I just know one day they're going to do really well. But I don't know when that day is. But I know that day is coming. But yeah, lads, that's what's up. Anyways, I'll see you all on the Sunday live stream. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hit that like button. Hit the like button right now. Mikhail, Manu partnership with the Chainlink team. Or, sorry, it was Chainlink team. Shiba Inu team. Too many comments. Yeah, that's great. Again, I think that if you want to be a buyer here, you probably will get it sub 30 million market cap. That's all from me today, lads. Like button. Thanks for all being here. Hope you enjoyed this one. And I'll see you in the next video. Connor from Crypto Empire, signing out. Stay up, stay blessed. Don't get too down on yourself. If you lost big, again, it's not over as long as you got air in your lungs. Don't quit on yourself. And I'll see you in the next